now. We are recording, ladies.
Right,
Real
ladies.
quick, is there anything else? I know we're already recording on here, but is there anything else that we need to discuss before? I don't think so. I think we can
I
just
need
get
to
into
turn my
it and
fan
start
on because
chatting.
it's really hot.
I know it's hot in here too.
I put I like kind of like a timeline type deal. I figured that was a good structure, and like we have a lot of notes, and I feel like this is whatever. So
I love your nails, by the way. Very, very cute. Very cute.
This nail broke, but I put on a little fake one, and you can't even tell.
Nice. My nail on my thumb is like halfway, like it's about to break. But I refuse.
You know what I do? You know what
What'd
I do?
you do?
I bought this super glue, and it literally has a brush, so it's like a nail polish bottle. Super glue, and then sounds weird, but I put a little like apply of toilet paper, let it dry, and I like layer it like paper mache, and it's perfect.
I'm gonna do that because
and just like file it down.
This is breaking my heart.
You guys, not to be totally disgusting, but I kind of did that. Like I started to break a nail and then I put some glue and like resealed it down, but some water got under it and I got nail fungus.
What the fuck, Hannah? Like literally, oh my god, is
not
it
what
okay?
I expected you to say at all, but that was amazing.
Yeah, like it looked so fucking disgusting, y'all.
Wait,
like,
is your nail okay though?
It looked like smeared avocado. It was like
stuck on my. Did you take it off and like?
Yeah, so eventually the nail broke, and the nail was painted like a.
She's like, well, I waited till it broke off.
Well, I didn't see the fungus when I resealed it, and then eventually the nail broke off, and I honestly just thought it was some of the color left over because my nails were painted green. But then I looked at it and I was like,
unlocked of mine.
But then I looked at it and I was like, oh shit, like it's not coming off, like it's actually like fungus. And so then I like looked up a bunch of different ways, had to buy like this antifungal infection. And I was like supposed to go on a date with another guy like 2 days after this. And I was like, I can't fucking go on a date with this.
You're like, oh, sorry, I have nail fungus.
It looked so nasty, and it was on like my index finger, so like it was obviously like one of the first things you're
like
saw
looking
when
at the menu and you're like, oh, I'd really like this. And
yeah,
like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so I like started freaking out, and you can't go to a nail salon because it's fungus, it's a fungal infection and it's contagious. So I had to treat it basically, and then after like a week it's like no longer living. And so then I was
like an ecosystem on your finger.
Yeah. And then I was like able to like go to a nail salon. It's still stained, like it's still a greenish color, and it's not going to go away until the nail completely grows out and I cut it off.
Wow. Oh my God, Hannah, that's tragic. Maybe I'm just going to avoid the super glue, you guys, and just cut
that's
the
what
nail.
I'm saying. Like, be careful, because it never once has happened to me. So now I'm just being way more on top of like going to get my nails filled in, because anytime I see any cracking, I'm like, no more fungus for me.
Yeah, I just meant like a little drop of glue on where it was cracked, not like completely like
submerge
your nail. You can't like cover the whole nail bed because it like is super glue. You know, remember the girl who put super glue on her head? Like,
oh my
it
God,
like closes
Hannah.
your follicles. No, just like a little dot where it was cracked.
I just did a little dollop in the corner, but the fucking water was sealed underneath it, and it just, it turned into like osmosis or something. I don't know.
Yeah, not what that is. But anyway, I'm keeping all of this in, by the way.
That's totally fine with me.
Was funny. But let's start recording, and we can do a little short catch
laying
up.
down.
Okay, everybody did a sound check. Everyone ready?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click. Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
It's been a minute. Whenever we take 1 week off, we're like, oh my God, it's been so long.
Because it feels like so long.
It does. I think it's because I put up the last episode. I got it edited like really fast and put it up like right away, when usually I take like a while. So it feels like for a while I haven't done anything, but whatever. But
yeah. Hannah's back with us this week.
Yeah. What's happened since we've all last seen each other?
Well, I guess the reason why I wasn't recording the last episode was because a fucking hurricane decided to roll through when I was not actually a hurricane, but like a really bad thunderstorm came through Fort Myers, Florida. I was visiting my parents on our boat, and I thought I was going to be fine because it was like raining really badly earlier on in the day, and my flight was at 7:30 that night, and then they canceled my flight at 4 o'clock. At first, I wasn't able to get a flight until like 2 days later at like 6 a.m. And that's why I texted Amanda and Shayla, and I was like, I can't record this week because I'm literally like stuck in the ocean and I like don't have anything with me. But then a flight opened up like very late Sunday night for the following morning. So I got back in the middle of the day, and my boss is like kind of neurotic when it comes to like PTO and stuff, and he was like, if you don't come in, you have to use a vacation day, which I'm already very limited as is. So I was like, nah fam, I'm coming in. Literally rolled into work with my suitcase and everything and went like straight to work from the airport, and then came back.
She's
And
committed.
I would have recorded that
She's a
night, but
girl boss,
honestly,
you
like I was
guys.
so fucking tired and done with it. I was
wouldn't
like,
have expected you to be like, and on to
Yeah.
the next task for the day.
No.
Yeah. God, but seeing my parents was good. It was definitely, my dad was giving me a slightly weird vibes because at first I really just didn't think he wanted me to be there at all. And like,
Aw.
I mean, my dad literally shows absolutely no emotion, and he was very apprehensive about me coming because he was like, the only reason why you want to come is because you just got dumped. Like literally that's what he said.
So
I still
harsh.
can't get over that he fucking said that.
And I was like, you're not wrong, sir. But I was like, you don't have to say that at the same time.
You don't need to call me out like that. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Right.
know my decisions.
So yeah, at first I just kind of felt like I was almost like a burden to him, but my mom has missed me a lot. And I know that I know she knows that going through this breakup has been very hard for me. And like she and I are very close, and she's wanted to be here for me. So it was mostly great to just see her, and it was a very short trip. I mean, I was only there for 2 days, but it was definitely nice to get away for a little bit, and then came back. And yeah, it was just Amanda's birthday too. So tell us about your birthday.
Let's hear
It
it.
was, oh my god, I'm so fucking old, guys. I'm 24. Ugh, but
That's not old.
It was good. I always take my birthday as like a chance to start over, I guess. Not, I don't know. It's just kind of like a New Year's type deal. I'm always just like, all right, like the things I wanted to get done, let's do it. The things I wanted to accomplish, let's get started. So I don't know. I always like that. But got together with as many friends that could come to have dinner at this cute little like kind of random Italian place. Emily and Jared go all the time, and like so I went with them once, and it's really good. It's like really low key. It's a place where like you can dress up if you want, but you can also go in like a t-shirt.
Well, you
So I
looked
was, like,
fabulous.
Yeah, you did look
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to like wear a cute dress, and like I know Emily always likes to dress up and stuff, but still it's like, you know, like Wiley and them, I'm like, doesn't matter, like wear whatever you want. It's a chill place. So it was really
Yeah.
fun, and like the food is really good there. So I love like a nice casual setting where everyone is just happy, everyone's satisfied with what they have, like very easy. And like Claire literally pulled out all the stops. So she's like really good at baking and has always made these like extravagant cakes and stuff that are so beautiful. And she made me a milk bar cake. Like she followed the exact recipe and made
my
the exact cake.
That's
Like,
So
I even
nice.
mentioned to her. I talked for so long. I'm like, oh, I've always wanted to try one of those cakes. They look so good, but they're really expensive, and like you gotta order it and stuff. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. And she walks in with this cake and like puts it on the table. She's like, I made you a milk bar cake, and it was so good. And I was like, oh,
That's
so
so
amazing.
cute.
What a nice
But it was great.
gift.
And then we had plans to like just hang out in the park the next day and do whatever. But I was really hungover, so I was like, we're gonna TBD, to be continued another day.
Dude, honestly, like, I don't mean this as an insult too, but I was talking to Shayla and she told me that. And I was like, honestly, like, I would expect nothing less. Like, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, and it's not like we had a crazy night. Like we just like I think all of us we went back to Emily's apartment and like played cards and hung out. And I think that's what got me is I was just like we were just playing so many drinking games that I just like,
Yeah.
kept going, and like
It
bought like
catches up
shit
to
like
you.
I bought like cheap like wine that and was like drinking that, so like that didn't do me any favors. But
So who all went? It was you, Emily, Wiley, and Claire.
and Johnny, Tyler, Clay, and
Nice.
Clay then paid for my dinner. Like
So
so
nice.
That's so sweet.
Mary, Paige, and our
yeah.
friend Dylan came. We Dylan, oddly enough, he like went to middle school with us. Like Emily was friends with him then, and then he like moved. But then he went to UGA, so like our last year there we kind of got closer with him, but yeah, so anyway, so he came, so that was cool, but it was really fun. It was great. But yeah, didn't get to go to the park, but it's fine because it was like mad storming. So I think this
Yeah.
weekend we're gonna hang out, not to like do anything for my birthday, but we're just gonna like hang out in lieu of that. But it was really fun and really good. Now I'm really old, and for anyone watching the video version, don't mind the mess in the back. I'm just selling everything I own. So Shayla, what's up with you?
Well, Amanda actually stayed with me the weekend before we didn't record. So she stayed with me like what, 2 days? We had a blast.
I came up Friday, stayed that night, Saturday night. I stayed like a whole
and
weekend.
left
It was
Sunday.
It
Yeah.
was really fun.
It was a lot of fun. So my mom was out of town. And so we decided to throw Dino his 21st birthday. So he just turned 21 and it was tons of fun. I loved having Amanda there. It was a lot of fun.
God,
my
I love
mom
it.
came back from Europe like the day afterwards. So it's been nice having her back.
How did she
and
like
what-
Europe?
She loved it.
She's
It was
obviously been-
amazing. Yeah. Well,
I'm like, how'd she like it? She like is so used to it, but I'm like,
Yeah, I asked her, I was like, did you see anything new? She was like, nope. I was like, okay, so you spent 10 days in Europe and you didn't see anything new? She's like, well, I mean, like I've lived here like before
Yeah.
you, like she came here literally the year I was born, like a month before I was born.
What's the deal with traveling? I didn't know you could travel to Europe still.
So the thing is, like, traveling to Europe, the only reason my mom went was because my cousin was getting married and we're so close. Like I was about to go. Like I was so sad that I couldn't go to her wedding. And so my mom decided to go. And in Europe, a lot of my other family members, like in surrounding countries, like you can't cross the border at all because of COVID, which is like insanity. So like when my mom flew, she just had to get like a negative test beforehand, like 48 hours before.
did
she
she have
had to
prove
bring her
vaccination?
So she brought her vaccination card, but she didn't have to prove it. She just had to bring her like COVID test, right? She had to get
Okay.
tested before she left Europe also. And then when she got back here, she had to get tested again. So lots of tests, and
That's good.
she's like fully vaccinated too. So that was like an even more reason for her to like be able
She's
to
a girl
attend.
boss. She's
Yeah.
a queen. She
Love her.
She's good. She's responsible.
And then my sister went to prom on Saturday. I know these are like little updates, but
Oh yeah, and
filling you
right
in.
before prom, Amina. Okay, I knew she was really chill. I did not know she was this chill.
She's
she
chill.
was just like doesn't give two fucks, and I respect it so much. She was literally
Yeah.
just like, I think I want to cut and dye my hair. Will you do it? And I'm like, okay. She gets.
Keep
like,
in mind,
these-
this was the night before her prom pictures. Like literally, Amanda and I are just chilling, and Amina's like, I bought hair dye, and can you cut
she's
it?
like, and she's like, cut my hair. I was like, oh, a little trim, spruce it up. She's like, no, like, cut it all off.
Chop it.
And she showed me a picture of when her hair was really short. She's like, can you do this? I was like, I can fucking try, but like,
Oh my God, I would
Like,
have been so
she, like,
nervous.
it's like, you know, you got to cut hair. Like, I feel like I'm okay at cutting hair. I've cut Shayla's
You
hair, I've cut my
are.
mom's hair.
You cut my hair.
But like, you got to have it wet, and like usually having a comb and a nice pair of scissors. I like to use like sewing shears or something like that. And she's just like, nah, I just like have a random brush and these kitchen scissors. So it was like really hard to cut. I was like, I do not want to botch your hair. But she's like, it doesn't matter. She's just like, go. And
She
then
doesn't care.
we like dyed her hair, and like, yeah, it was awesome.
Which also,
She's
Amanda,
so
she
cool.
loves it now. And honestly, it looks
Oh, good.
better than it did like then. But you guys, so get this. Hannah, so we went to her prom pictures that day, you know, like got her ready. She did her makeup, did her hair, and Amanda did her
Very
hair.
cute. And it was
And-
just her and her boyfriend and his like mom and us.
Yeah.
So it was chill.
All they literally wanted to do was take pictures. So she got ready all day the night before, all for us to find out. She told everybody that she had a black strapless dress, right? Everybody that was aware of this dress knew that it was black and strapless. She puts the dress on. There's pink sequins on it everywhere.
Yeah,
And
so we
get
pink
to
dress.
so we get to John's house, which is her boyfriend, and John goes, "You told me it was a black dress," and he coordinated with black, like, so he was wearing like a gray suit and everything, and he was like, "We could do black and gray, yada yada yada." And then Amina walks in with a pink dress, and he was like, "What the fuck?" She literally just put on the dress just to take the pictures. They went out to dinner and then came back for Dino's birthday party, and that was it. That was the extent of her senior prom. Yeah.
It's
Well, she looked very beautiful. I loved the photos.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And then nothing else that is new. You guys, I'm wrapping up this last semester, kind of. I know
Dude,
I have classes in the summer.
Kill it, queen.
Fucking ready to be over it, you guys. I'm not kidding. Like I've said before, I think I'm just itching to get out of here and just like move on to the next chapter. I'm in no rush. It's more so I think Athens, as much as I love it here, I'm just like kind of need some change. I need a little sprucing up.
For sure.
And I do I'm taking classes up until July, so I'm not really like done, but I think I'm ready for like the next phase in my life.
When you move out of that party, you just need to have one last shindig, and I will literally drive to Athens just for that. Because
move out of the apartment,
be like,
you mean?
Yeah, it'll be
like, you said move out of the party.
Oh, move out of the apartment. No, but you should
maybe I'm living in the party.
And then oh man, it's gonna be so sad because
you guys,
like
I will be having a shindig here before I move out, and I'm very excited.
That apartment, it means so much to all of us. I feel like.
I know.
God,
I know.
I hope the Sprickets make an appearance one last time.
I don't, but you know what? To each their own. I feel like there's a lot. Hannah's like, I love the Sprickets.
No, I just think about it, and I just think about it, and it literally sends me every fucking time I think about it, because we would get so used to it, unfortunately, that we would be like watching TV, and I would see one, and like everyone would just like assume the position, and like Kennedy would like come out with like the insect repeller and just like douse that shit on it, and I was like, okay, I think it's dead, like it's drowning in this.
You know what's
it's gone.
So bad about this is that whenever I like mentioned Sprickets, people were like, "Are you living in like a cardboard box? Like what is going on?"
Like everyone thought we were so nasty, and I'm like, it's
but
not
that's
like
not the case.
I was like, it's not like the Taj Mahal, don't get me wrong, but like we're also not living in like the swamp. Like, I mean, I just don't understand.
I think it's the fact that you guys, like, you did have so many parties that were iconic, but you actually did not own a vacuum cleaner that I think is where that problem happened. Because
dude, the only thing we owned was like a broom and like
a dirty
half
mop.
of a Swiffer. Yeah, like that's what it was.
Remember over the summer when that animal got stuck in the
have we told this story before?
In the air vent, and like I literally called everyone I could possibly think of, and I was like, I do not fucking know what to do, because I was the only one in the apartment. And like, oh my God, it literally made my skin crawl. And remember when I called the office and they were like, sorry, you're gonna have to call the police. And I was like,
yeah, they were like, call the authorities.
And I was like, I don't think that's like the logical next step. And it was like so much was happening in the world at this time. Like I was like, I'm not gonna bother the police with like the fact that there is a suspicious animal in my AC vent.
If it makes you feel any better, The Office has not improved in any which way or form. It's still shit.
I remember Hannah called me when this happened. I thought she had like cut her finger off opening an avocado or something. And I was like, what's going on? She's like, there's some demon in my vent. And I remember trying to screen record the call because it was the funniest thing. I was dying, but it didn't pick up the call. But
yeah.
It was honestly so fucking scary. I had to put boxes and like tape them down over the AC unit because I was worried the thing was
we literally make it sound like we were living like in a crack house. I'm not even kidding.
Good old Goofy.
Goofy the gopher, you guys.
I think the problem with for one, with as much as I was out of the apartment, I never saw a Spricket, thankfully. But
good.
Glad for you. You guys had that like river right behind the apartment complex with like a forest. So like it makes sense that, you know, some bugs would get in, but I never thought the apartment was like gross. So
I would do anything to be paying like what we were paying though.
Yeah.
There now, like
you will
the
never
rent
find
that I
rent like
pay.
that again.
I mean, my apartment here in Charlotte is very nice. Do not get me wrong, but can't beat good old Waterford prices. But you honestly get what you pay for with that apartment, so don't expect much.
You can't beat the charm that place.
Yeah, good old
This is
charm.
true.
Else? Anything you just want to drop in? Anything you've been liking recently? I know we don't really do like as many like current faves, but like let's mention them if we have any.
Oh, well, I am I've been watching this new show on HBO Max. It's called Mayor of Easttown, Mare, not Mayor. But
to be
basically
clear,
if you're a fan of like Big Little Lies, or if you watched The Undoing, or like any kind of like detective-y, like psychological kind of show, it's really good. Kate Winslet stars in it, and it's like a mini series on HBO. They come out with new episodes every week. Been watching that. And another thing I'm really excited for is that they're doing like an all-star season of Real Housewives. And
I saw this.
Yeah. So they're doing an all-star season of Real Housewives, and they've already started filming it. It's like it's a bunch of OGs from,
aren't they in Turks and Caicos right now?
Yeah, so they're filming it in Turks and Caicos. It's basically like supposed to be like a Bachelor in Paradise, you know, Love Island kind of idea, where like they put all these people in like a remote house together and just like see what happens.
Ooh,
but
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I'm so fucking excited for that.
Who's
so that's like a big. It's Ramona, Luann, Kyle Richards,
Lisa,
some, like,
the Countess.
Yeah.
Isn't Rinna in it? Yeah, Rinna's in it.
Lisa Rinna's in it. And then some people from like New Jersey and like other cities that I don't watch. I wanted them to like spice it up and throw in like Brandy or Kim Richards and just really make it wild, but
dude, imagine Kim Richards and Brandy there.
I really wanted them to bring back Bethany, but I know that she would never like do Real Housewives again.
No.
But she's iconic, and I would have lived for that.
I don't know. She said that before, and then years later she came back. So
yeah,
you never know.
Very true. She just doesn't need it anymore. She's too busy and has.
Oh my god, yeah, she didn't need it when she came back. She's got fucking millions on millions of dollars.
Yeah,
millions of problems as well. But I always wonder if Lisa Vanderpump and anyone else has spoken, or like if Kyle and her have. I just wonder. Like I'm trying to think like like let's say Hannah, me and you got in a fight. I couldn't imagine like never trying to make that better or
make
something.
amends.
So I listened Lisa Vanderpump was on an episode of The Skinny Confidential, which is a podcast that I really like to listen to, and they talked a lot about that situation. And Lisa says that she sees Kyle a lot, obviously before COVID, at like social gatherings and stuff. And they would like speak and make small talk, but they're definitely not there. I mean, they're relatively on speaking terms, but they're not like buddy and are like going out of their way to like hang out with each other. So
I'm gonna be honest, after that friendship like fell through, I was kind of sad for the both of them, mainly because like I never expected like the two of them to have a falling out as bad as they did, especially over the situation that like happened. Because what was it? It was something about it was like about a dog or something.
Yeah, it was about a story that was leaked. It was about a story that was leaked to the press about one of Lisa's rescue dogs or something.
And then it just got
like way deeper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But kind of on the same topic, it was announced today that Vanderpump Rules is coming back, and they're going to start filming. They're going to start filming in May.
Is it the same cast?
So it's all the OGs, like Sheena, it's
Stassi
like
it's
all the OGs except Stassi and Kristen are obviously still fired. They got fired over a year ago, and then during COVID, also Jax and Brittany either got fired or quit, so they won't be returning. But Lala, Sheena, James Kennedy, Tom Sandoval, Katie, like all of those people, they're all coming back.
Interesting.
the new cast members that were on it last season, they also got fired, and like none of them are coming
They
back.
they weren't that interesting anyway.
They weren't
in
that
my
interesting
opinion.
anyways.
Yeah.
So I read
Why
the
did
whole
they get
article.
fired? Was it because of
it was like
racist things that
racist
came out?
tweets. Yeah. So I'll be interested
Idiots.
to see like who the new people are. They said they haven't casted any new like castmates yet. They're waiting to see how the season plays out, and then they might bring some people in. So
I
So
wonder going
speaking-
forward. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to say, so speaking of Vanderpump Rules, the Instagram DM that you sent us today, Hannah, about Sheena's baby.
Oh,
Congratulations to
fucking
Sheena,
name.
1,000%. But the name, it killed me. Like,
I said to them,
Summer
the,
Moon
the
Honey.
name. The name sounds like a Victoria's Secret perfume. Like,
Yeah.
and our
Summer
friend
Moon
Cara
Honey.
was like, her initials are
SMH.
SMH.
Such a Cara
She
thing
was
to
like
say.
SMH at the
I know.
name.
I don't know.
So
So
weird.
like they've all had their kids now. Like everyone that got pregnant from the show has now had their children. Sheena was the last one. So Stassi had her kid first, named her Hartford, which I actually think is kind of cute and very Stassi-esque.
Yeah, I like that.
And
Mhm.
then
I like Summer. I just don't understand the honeymoon.
Summer
after it.
was-
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is up with
Moon
that?
Honey is a little weird. Is a little weird. And then Brittany named her son Cruz, which I think is fine. And
Yeah.
like Lala named her daughter Ocean, which I just find a little bit weird, but
Lala's weird as fuck, obviously.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I just wasn't that
Like,
surprised.
it's
I think I was
Lala.
more surprised. I don't know. I guess I wasn't that surprised with like Sheena's name either, because like Summer's a good name.
Yeah.
It's just the other two parts.
the Moon
The
Honey
Moon
part I
Honey.
don't
basis,
get.
like what? But teach. Maybe it's. I don't know. Maybe it was something on his family, or
I
we don't
also
know.
I also don't understand the point of like two middle names or like
I don't.
Yeah,
Is that what it
it's-
is? Is it like a double middle name?
it's not hyphenated. Like Summer is her first name and then Moon Honey is like the middle name and
Yeah.
then her last name.
I guess there are no real rules to names, though.
True.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like, it's
not,
not like
but, like,
legally
she's
you
not-
have to have a
kid.
first.
She's
middle,
not, like,
last.
She's not the queen. Like I don't know. She's not like the Duke or Duchess. Like she's not. I mean, like there is really no right, in my opinion, to like be that pretentious by having like 4 names in your full name. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
She
know.
was born
Interesting.
on a cool day though, because she was born on the alleged pink full moon, which I didn't see that it was pink.
oh, maybe
didn't
that's
see it
why
was
her middle
pink
name's
either.
Moon.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like maybe they just threw the moon in there because they're like, oh, astrology.
Ooh.
Ooh, this means something. Moon.
Oh
It's
gosh.
like, oh, so what's the last name?
Davies.
So like that would have been cute, Summer Honey Davies, but they're like, ooh,
That's cute.
I'll just
Moon.
throw the moon in there because she's born on
Just
a full
for
moon.
fun.
Fuck. I mean, whatever. I was born on a full
I'm
moon.
I'm acting as if I know her, but honestly, out of everyone, I think I'm the most happiest for her because she got married on the show once before and then obviously got divorced.
Yeah.
And she's just had a really hard time finding, I just feel like a good guy.
had a hard
and I
time
think
getting
she-
pregnant too.
Mhm.
Had a hard time getting
Obviously.
pregnant, had a miscarriage. And actually, she posted today in the post about giving birth to her daughter that she was like, it was not an easy delivery. Like she actually
That's
had
scary.
like some complications. And yeah, so she's had a really rough go of it. So just happy that like she had her kid and she's getting everything she wanted. So
You
Yeah.
know what, Sheena? Name your kid whatever you want. You
Yeah,
just
congratulations,
you do
girly.
you, sweetie.
subscribe.
Wait, remember, just a side note, remember when you added her at that in that comment a year
Oh
ago?
my
Out.
god, yeah.
And
What was it again?
Oh, I was wearing like those big glasses and you were like, okay, at Sheena or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, gosh, Sheena.
And I like literally commented it back and I said the worst like person to be from the
I
show
know
or whatever.
you were so brutal, and then she like
She
liked
liked
the
it in the
comment.
comments. She totally saw my comment afterwards.
I
and
was like,
felt so
I
fucking
stand
bad.
Sheena. I don't know what Hannah's on. I thought you were a fan, but
You're like, don't
I felt
associate me with
so
her.
bad. Yeah,
It's just
she
so
liked
funny that,
Amanda's
like-
comment, but not mine. So
yeah, I can imagine why.
Oh,
Go into this topic.
we
that
probably should. Yeah.
Speaking of famous people and influencers, let's talk about the evolution of influencers and what we think the future will be. So I was majorly inspired by this YouTuber that goes by Smoky Glow. I recently found her page. Love her. Her content is kind of like, do you guys know like Mila Tequila?
Yes.
Yeah, I love her too. I like their content. It's almost like podcast videos.
Yeah.
But they obviously they edit it, the videos, and they like throw up screenshots and all this stuff. I really like that kind of content because it's like I don't have to like sit and watch. I can just like have it on and do whatever. But she does a little bit of makeup content, reviewing stuff, but she also like goes into like celebrities, pop culture, normal stuff. She's really fun to listen to too. So I recommend go check her out. Not that she needs the shout out, but she did a video on like I wrote down the bizarre world of influencer brand trips, and then I think she had some other videos about it. But she went through and was like talking about the brand trips and how they worked / didn't work, and then she started talking about what can we expect of that kind of stuff going forward. And I think the what I took away from it is obviously with COVID, how are we going to do trips like that / do people really care about that anymore? Because I think when influencers first started, people weren't as privy to the fact that like, okay, they're being paid to say this, whatever. I
Yeah.
think people were just like, oh cool, like brands love them and they love the brands back.
Mhm.
But I think now everyone is aware that it's a job, people are getting paid to say these things. So her point was like on the brand trips, it was this, looked really good for the brands. But now, like if I see that like Benefit sends a bunch of influencers to the beach, I'm not really like, it doesn't make me any more inclined to buy Benefit products because I'm just like, it's a business trip. So I want to start at the beginning and like talk about like when influencers first started becoming a thing.
So, quick question. What was your like first sort of like experience seeing a brand trip? Like, was it Benefit or was it like something like that?
As far as like brand trips, I wasn't too aware of that. I didn't like, the main people like Alicia Marie and
Yeah.
Remy Ashton and like all those people. Like I really didn't watch them back then. I kind of watch their content now sometimes.
Mhm.
But they did a lot of that. The first influencers I really remember as being like social media influencers was like Jay Alvarez and Alexis.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And they did like the travel style stuff. But
Yeah.
as far as like paid brand trips, I really didn't. I wasn't as into YouTube and whatever back then.
I remember this specific brand trip like no other, and I don't know why it's like burned into my memory. And so when you brought this like topic up, I was like, oh my God. So when I thought of influencers, like at first I thought makeup YouTubers specifically, I was like, this is a niche crowd, like this is what it is. And I remember it being a Tarte brand trip, and I believe they went to like I believe it was like probably Turks and Caicos or the Bahamas, and I remember it's kind of funny that you said that you weren't inclined to like buy Benefits like stuff, for example, like on a brand trip. Now more so I wouldn't be, but back then I was like, oh my God, I want Tarte. Like, and I remember this being like
I was talking
not-
about definitely now. Like back then, if I was watching it, I probably would have totally been influenced to buy like that. But I think now I wouldn't.
And what's wild is I feel like these brand trips and obviously influencers, they haven't been around long, but it grows at a fast pace, like you said, right? And so I think like this brand trip with Tarte was like maybe like 2016, right? And I was like, oh my God, like brands do this. Like, this is insane. Like, I didn't know that this was like a part of being like a makeup guru, like influencer on YouTube and all this stuff. But then I think like literally after that seemed like the biggest brand trip to me, and the first one that kind of like broke through and people really started taking it more seriously. So when you start talking about like influencers, you said Alicia Marie, right?
Yeah,
Like that
I
was
think
your
of her
big
as like one of the first to be like the daily vlogger influencer type. That whole crowd, their whole squad is like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's insanity.
So I honestly didn't really know probably even who she was until like a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I never like really, I mean, as someone who is like trying to get into the YouTube influencer sphere, I don't think I really even knew that much about it or even started consuming content on my own until maybe I got to college. Like I just
Same.
didn't really
Yeah.
do it much in high school. So I didn't like Alicia Marie was like a little before my time, before I guess when she was like super popular. So now I know who she is. And I remember like coming across her page and being like, wow, like I can't believe she's like a YouTuber and has like 3 million something followers,
Yeah.
but she's been around for like a really long time. And now I always am very intrigued by her content. And I'm wondering what you think, Amanda, because I know that you've been like more familiar with her, but like, do you feel like she's just kind of like plateaued a little bit?
I don't know because like same as you, I didn't start actually consuming like YouTube. Like I thought for a while that YouTube was just like where like random videos just go to like die or whatever. Like, I didn't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when I first started really watching YouTube, I didn't watch her either. It's really just like recently that I'm like, oh cool, like I'll watch her stuff. But I think from what I've gathered is that definitely like her height was like there was a time, and I think it goes into this of like when these types of influencers were like so new and so cool and everyone was so intrigued, and now everyone's just kind of like, okay, we get it. That I think her content has probably changed a lot. I also know she's older, so I don't
Mhm.
know. But yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone eventually will have their rise and fall. I don't think it's a fall by any means, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's as much of like an it girl as she used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to see some of the stuff she posted and it would be like back to school with Alicia Marie, and like
Yeah.
she was well out of school. Like she like
I
it
think I remember them. She did like a truth or drink with My Life is Ava. And they talked about that, and she even kind of like laughed about it, and she was like, I wasn't even in school, but like that's what
Yeah.
people were watching, so that's what they did.
yeah.
Do you guys
Yeah.
remember Bethany? Do you guys remember Bethany Moda?
Okay,
Mm-mm.
that was
Yeah.
actually the first influencer I
Same.
think that I
Oh,
didn't
God.
even really watch YouTube, but I was more so just like
She was
so
everywhere, like
yeah,
everywhere.
she had a line with Aeropostale, and I remember I wanted
Yeah.
everything from the collection. She was also on Dancing with the Stars, which was huge.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's
So
like
that
really
shift
that was like the first influencer that I remember like being super into.
Yeah. So that shift of like Bethany Moda going from like the same thing as Alicia Marie and like posting hella videos, like how to get ready with me is like how to prep for school in the fall kind of thing. Like she literally had a video on everything. And I remember her, like, as I got older, obviously she did too, and stopped doing that, like, kind of cheesy, like, childish content. Not childish in a negative way, just childish in a way, like, of her demographic,
That's what people
you know?
wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you said that, Amanda, I remember Bethany Moda like posting something and being like, you guys don't understand. Like, I'm like in my late 20s now. Like, I don't do that anymore. And people keep being like, oh, I've changed. I've changed. But like, I literally just like grew up and like stopped doing that kind of content. I started doing stuff that I liked. And I think that like her evolution as an influencer to me was probably like easy, steady, and like she still has like sources of
She
like
has-
revenue from like, you know, social media and
4.6
everything.
million followers on Instagram. I just looked
Yeah,
it up.
but
Like,
it's just more so
yeah.
low key and like more so just a little bit.
Well, she probably, is very established, so she doesn't have to like
Yeah.
work well, not work
This is
hard,
true.
but
I
it
also-
doesn't have to put as much content
True.
out. And
I
Mhm.
also think about that with like Danielle Carolyn, who is in it. For those of you who are listening who don't know who that is, because she's not as big of a YouTuber influencer.
She's fairly
she's
big
got
though.
like half a million followers. dude.
Yeah,
she's like friends with Alicia and them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she has gotten like a lot bigger.
But I do know what you
Then-
mean. She's not like at
yeah.
the level of like them per se.
Yeah. So she like goes to UGA. She's Shayla. She's like Shayla's age. She's
Mhm.
younger than Amanda and I. And like, I remember meeting her through recruitment, had no idea who she was coming into it, but everyone was like, there's this big YouTube girl that's coming in, had never heard of her. I ended up rushing her, and then we were in the same major. So we had a few classes together, and like we're not buddy, but like she knows who I
Friendly.
am, and like
Yeah.
we're friendly. She's a really nice girl, and I mean, super nice. Definitely like is a 21-year-old college student enjoying her life, but I've noticed that a lot of the content that she posts still is geared a lot more towards a younger audience. And there's
For
nothing
sure.
wrong with that. But it's just like, I can only imagine how frustrating that has. Well, maybe frustrating is the wrong word, but like how difficult I feel like that has to be as someone who is probably substantially older than the majority of your audience. And it's like a lot of her videos focus on like college life, like what recruitment is like for girls that are obviously way younger that are going through it for the first time. And um I kind of like see that now. So I'll be interested to see like, because she's planning to move to New York after she graduates, like where
Oh,
that
wow.
shift kind of happens. And I kind of noticed it a little bit more recently, and I'm really glad that she's doing it. Like, she used to never talk about alcohol in any of her videos. She would never talk about drinking, nothing like that. And like, she just posted a video a few weeks ago that was like a truth or drink kind of a thing. Cause like, obviously she's legal now, but yeah, it's always really interesting. And like, have started YouTube way later. It's not easy. I mean, I wish I had started it like years ago, and I would obviously be at a different place. And I hope that it happens for me in time. It's just definitely very difficult because it's obviously a lot more saturated nowadays. But I
Agreed.
think one of the good things that comes from like starting it later when you are older is that you kind of attract more of an older audience, because I think when you start it from such a young age, like she started it before she was even in high school. And I know a lot of YouTubers that have been around for a while started it at very young. I mean, I think
Mhm.
you kind of attract that crowd. Um, so it's like now, obviously, it's mostly just my friends that are watching my videos, but I hope to kind of keep it with like growing an audience that's more of like my age
Yeah.
or around that kind of demographic.
And I think so. And I think with every YouTuber like who starts when they're young or has been doing this for a while, I hate when people are like, "Oh, they've changed." Obviously, they're going to
Yeah.
change. Every single human being changes. And like, what do you expect someone to be 25 and acting like they're 16? Like, no.
Mhm.
There's going to be a change. I think sometimes some people do it a little more gracefully than others. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. I know that Smokey Girl, actually the same girl, she had a video about Emma Chamberlain and was talking about that, of how people were like, she changed because Emma Chamberlain, obviously, she
Iconic.
grew
Yeah.
so fast, like incredibly fast, and she was like very original for the kind of content she was putting out there. She like definitely changed the whole like influencer scene, I feel like. But she was like, I think her content's changed, and it's like because she's changed because she was going from like really relatable stuff to now she's like a millionaire, obviously, and like goes to Louis
Mhm.
Vuitton shows, and it's like, but her point at the end was like, what do you expect her to just like stay the same and never progress? So that was
Yeah.
interesting. But before we get more into that, I do want to talk about also like, so we see like all these influencers becoming a thing, it becoming a job, whatever. I remember it feels like 2016 to like 2018 was like this emergence of everyone being like, well, I want to try and do that, or I can do that. And
Mhm.
then you got a lot of like, everyone who has an Instagram has been reached out to before by some sketchy thing that was like, hey, like, we'll give you a percentage off this like cheap bikini and you can post about it. And like a lot of people did that because it felt like you were an influencer and it was cool, and like everyone was doing that. And we all worked at Threads, it was always so cool to post like our pictures and kind of like pretend to
Yeah.
be an influencer for a second. But I feel like everyone's kind of over that now. But at the same time, influencers, I don't think are something that's ever going to go away. But
Mhm.
I guess, I don't know. I feel like it's so different from how it used to be, like not that long ago, because I feel like everyone is, one, aware of it, that everything is just being sold to us, and two, like I want to talk about like flex culture. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? I don't follow like Stassi and that group and Kylie Jenner and all them, just because it's like so unattainable for me and it's not stuff I can relate to. And it's like I used to think that was cool to see, but I don't anymore. And I was wondering like y'all's opinions on it, like what you
So
think.
my thing with like their group specifically, I still follow some of them. I do follow Stassi. I do follow like Sydney, obviously Devin, and
Yeah, well,
Olivia.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
them.
obviously. But I think the thing is with them, it's just so the same content is just regurgitated over and over and over again. And obviously right now they are kind of like the it girls, and like that's what it is. But I mean, granted, this is also their way of like making money and like their way of getting a check. And I get it, but I do think that it is like so overdone, the same sort of photos every single time. And like what my thing was, like when we talk about this group and then when we talk about brand trips, the one brand trip that stood out to me the most was the one with Shein. And all of those girls like went on it, right? And it was like
What? See,
Stassi.
I have even no idea about that. What
So
is-
get this, like I remember it was like Stassi, Kelsey, like probably Sydney, I don't know, but like a whole group of them. They all went on a brand trip with Shein of all companies,
like,
right?
Why Shein?
How bizarre and random, right? It almost seems like I don't know how to perfectly word this, but it's like, you know how Shein is obviously fast fashion, and like I feel like the influencers like are a part of like just fast-paced culture, and it's just become so overdone and so regurgitated. Like you said, people are doing it for a check regardless. But like, I don't know. I
Like,
feel
I'll
like the thing with-
never judge influencers
No,
ever. You're
no.
doing your job, you're getting that bag, and it's really fun and cool. And I wish I could do it. But,
yeah, like more power to you.
I'm also wondering, like, what should we see for influencers in the future? Like, as far as brand trips, like, again, is that going to be a thing? But like, the influencers I follow now, like, are like these up and coming girls, like
Mhm.
Courtney Mahor, however you say
Yeah.
her name, and like Devin Apollone, and like their whole squad, like the internet girlfriend account,
Mhm.
like they're definitely like, I feel like a different breed of influencers.
They
you
are just
know?
very much I feel like it's very transparent. Does that make sense? As in
Right.
like they are clear. There's no this is the thing that I like about more of these like up and coming influencers. Nobody gives a shit. They're going to tell you how it is. They're going to be honest about it, because I feel like transparency is like what's in and what's like popping right now. People care
are
for
trying to
more
be a
of
little more
that.
realistic than,
Exactly.
like,
Because I
yeah.
feel like we've gotten to this place in society that if you say something that you're not actually like a fan of, or if you're not backing, then you're going to get called out for it. And everyone wants to obviously avoid being canceled and being like called
And
out
too,
for these
like,
things. So
yeah,
honesty is the best policy.
Right, and the kind of companies you support and their
Exactly.
values and morals and stuff, because people
Yeah.
are way more aware of that.
Like it
And I
actually,
feel like
it.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
it sends me when I see like a celebrity do like a FabFitFun endorsement
Yeah.
or like
Oh my
a
God. Or like Kendall Jenner with all like the win 10 Louis Vuitton
Oh,
bags. Like,
get out.
it's so strange to me.
yeah,
That
or
to me
like,
seems like such a scheme.
and also like, oh my God, I can only imagine like, for example, like Khloe Kardashian is going around now doing a commercial for some migraine medication. And
Yeah.
like maybe sis suffers from a bad migraine. You know, like I do too. I get them like at least 2 times a month. They're horrible. They ruin my day. But
Go off.
like Khloe Kardashian does not need to secure that bag. Like she really
Right.
doesn't. Like
But
she
it's
doesn't
still like her work. You know what I mean?
it's still
Exactly.
her work,
So it's
right?
like-
I get it. Like she needs to be doing something, but it's just like that really. And also like I'm always so intrigued by like how much these companies pay. Like I see like even
Yeah.
Stassi and Kylie Jenner doing like Fashion Nova brand deals. And like obviously
guys-
Fashion Nova is like a really big well-known company, but I'm
Yeah.
like, God, they have to be paying them like so much fucking
Do you
money.
remember when Kim got offered? She said this in an interview, but didn't specifically state Fashion Nova, right? She said that there was this brand that came up to her and offered her $1 million for a sponsored post, right? $1 million, keep in mind. And she didn't disclose the name. And she was like, this brand has been known to knock off Yeezy from here or there, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, apparently the story was that Kanye just was like, please don't do the post, yada, 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 gave her $1 million check. But the fact that Fashion Nova was willing to pay Kim Kardashian $1 million for a single sponsored post on Instagram, that to me is insanity for her to just like put on an outfit. And you know what? She's at the place in her career where she can charge that much. And honestly, she should. If she can, she should. Like, go off.
No, but do you know what's
But-
insane to me is that these brands are making that much money that they just have $1 million lying around to where to
Exactly.
them it's nothing if they just blink an eye and they're like, let's just spend $1 million
Yeah.
for this one celebrity to post one picture.
Yeah,
but
not to mention all the other people they're paying, you know?
right,
Exactly.
but that's the like I'm a big numbers person when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I would just be really interested to know, like, they're putting that much money out there for just one singular thing. How much are they getting back from it? I can imagine it has to be a lot because
Mhm.
obviously these
Right.
girls have a ton of followers. But
But here's the thing,
it
from
would have
this
to rival, in my opinion,
Yeah.
more than $1 million if you're going to make a
Yeah,
profit
like,
off of it.
Yeah.
that's true. I'm like, holy shit! Like, how much do you expect in return?
You know what my
Yeah.
question is, that is at what point, like if brands are doing this for like the biggest name celebrities and everything and these huge influencers with millions of followers, at what point do they like decide, okay, maybe we need to do something different, like we need to stop doing this? Like I
Right.
just think it's like overproduction, and it's so, everyone just wants so much so fast, and I feel like we're at such a fast pace like point in society that like I don't think anyone really knows how it's going to slow down, in my opinion. But I feel like this, like a breaking point is going to happen like soon, maybe within the next year or two,
Like
when
a
it
big
comes to
change.
influencers and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree.
So
I'm interested- oh, go.
I do just want to ask y'all something about like the influencer trips before we like completely shift topic. Well, one thing I wanted to ask y'all, but another thing I wanted to say. So for those of you listening that don't know, I used to work at Red Dress Boutique, which used to do these influencer brand trips a lot. So I kind of saw
Really?
them firsthand from the back end of it. And it was honestly very interesting. I would have literally sold my kidney to go on one of these trips, not as like an influencer, but just to have gotten to go for free and like
Right.
experience it. It would have been so cool. I didn't work there for long, but my boss, or not, I guess technically, yeah, she's my boss, but she's the CEO and the owner of the company. And I never met her personally because Red Dress is a very big company, and I worked in like a huge warehouse with all these people. She was a Disney freak. So it was like a very big thing to do like a brand trip to Disney World. And
Of all places, Disney
of all
World.
places. But then they would do like other cool things where it would always be like every season they would do like one huge trip, and it would always be like the influencers that were going on these Red Dress trips were obviously like the quintessential like soccer mom kind of influencers, because that's the customer really that's kind of shopping at Red Dress. But it would always be interesting because I would kind of hear bits and pieces about like how this influencer, is making this request. And it's just like at the end of the day, whoever is arranging these trips is just having to be a big ass babysitter, because you're basically having to cater to all of these people that have all of these different personalities. And I watched that video that Amanda talked about from Smoky Glow about the bizarre world of influencer brand trips, and she talked about how there's always drama that goes down, there's always something that happens, and unfortunately that's just the reality of it. I mean, I think we've seen it more so now in the last year than anything in the beauty community, with like
For
all
sure.
of these
Yeah.
like scandals and stuff happening, and how there's been all these falling outs between Jeffree Star, James Charles. I mean, it, like there's some sort of drama going on with that. I don't think a brand trip would ever happen with those same people on it ever again.
Ever. No.
But it's really interesting because at the end of the day, like these people are having to get their check, but these influencers want to know that you actually value their needs and their desires, and
Yeah.
that you're
People
not
are
just
putting more care into it rather than just like taking it for whatever.
Yeah, and like I see it now too, and I'll talk about this more later. So the trips are obviously paid for, they're free, and but the influencers are not getting paid to go on them. So
Mhm.
essentially it is a free vacation for them, but they are really having to work. And I have this whole like opinion about really why influencers should get paid, because there's a lot of thought that goes into it. And I think like nowadays maybe people are like a little bit too aggressive with what they're asking for, and I think it's really important to know your worth. But that was always like really interesting to me, is just like kind of like they're like musicians or celebrities, where it's like they have like a whatever that thing is, like a writer or something, where it's like, this is what I need in my dressing room, like these are the requirements that I have for me to go on this trip. The other side of it is that, did you guys ever use that app Dote?
Oh
No.
no, but Yeah, I know all
Yeah.
about like this.
What is
So
it?
that was when I got like really into influencers, was when I started watching like Doechella, and it would be like Maggie McDonald, Danielle Carolyn was a part of it, like, you know, like smaller lifestyle influencers all the way up to like Emma Chamberlain was involved in it. Basically, it was a really cool concept. It was just very poor marketing, and they got some like racist allegations, which I think ultimately was the reason why I think the app is just obsolete at this point. But I did use the app at one time or another, and I actually like used it to place a few orders. But it's basically just like a one-stop shop where you can go and buy things from different stores like Urban Outfitters, Forever 21, Free People, and it all gets added into the same cart, and it comes from all of these different stores, but then it all comes in one order, if that makes sense. So you're not having to like pay shipping
They're
from
like
all of
one
these
big
different
drop shipping
stores.
company.
Yeah.
They're
So
it's
was
like-
this
basic-
literally like a clothes, like where you got clothes at? Like that's what the app was
was
essentially.
like a
yeah,
shopping
like it
app,
was
yeah.
it was literally just a shopping app, and they would house like
Interesting.
the biggest like fast fashion brands at the time.
Wow.
And like you could like, I remember like Princess Polly was on there too, and it was when Princess Polly was first really getting popular, and like you could just go and like essentially shop the store on this app and buy from a bunch of
One-stop
different
shop.
stores. Yeah, like a one-stop shop.
You know what's wild to me is like these like new hubs for like influencers that people are trying to like make these new apps and everything. Do you guys think that there's going to be anything as I guess like groundbreaking, if you want to call Instagram groundbreaking, but like another app or place that people are going to like use to kind of like do their influencing and like do all of this? Because you think about it, there's this one
know.
app called, what is it, it's called Clubhouse or something, and people are now trying to get over on that
Right.
app.
I've been hearing a little
Yeah.
bit about.
And so I'm like when is Instagram going to be like, granted, I have a love-hate relationship with Instagram, very much so,
Same.
as in like I hate the amount of like the same shit I see, you know, and
Same
granted that
shit,
is
all
also
the ads, all the flex
Yeah.
culture. I think for me, I had to realize like if I don't like it, why do I follow it? Type deal.
exactly.
But
It
still,
goes
I
hand in
still have my
hand.
gripes with Instagram, but I
Sure.
still use it every day. Like,
And so my thing is like obviously people are trying to be like more transparent and everything, especially on Instagram. But then again, like on the flip side, like it's just not. Everyone tries to be, but like
and again, like
I don't
styles
know.
are changing. Like I don't think like to the core of it, like I don't know. I feel like everyone's doing the same thing. Styles are just changing, but I'm interested to see like as far as brands and Instagram influencers, like everything, like what's the future of it? Because like we've talked about, it's very transparent. We're all aware that we're being sold. We're all aware people are being paid or gifted or whatever that might be. Like the jig is up type deal.
Yeah.
And so like I'm wondering what's their next strategy, because I don't think this influencer whole thing is gonna like go away. But like what's
Ye-
their next strategy? Like I saw a comment that was like it was, you know, when and still like how, you know, all this stuff with James Charles is like coming out and whatever. And I saw someone say, I forget where, probably TikTok, and it was like you know, why are we putting so much I guess like trust and so much power in like these huge people when people like micro influencers or people like you, Hannah, who like really want to do it and are really like awesome people to the core and like, you know, don't have these major like celebrity scandals and stuff. Like,
yeah.
our company's gonna start paying more attention to that? But then it's kind of like, well, then is everybody gonna be an influencer? I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, like, honestly, not to like toot my own horn, I don't even have 2,000 followers, but within the last year alone, I have been very, very shocked by the brand deals that I've gotten from like really cool companies.
Yeah.
And like, and just to be completely transparent and to be completely honest, those were deals that came to me. I did not go and seek those out on my own. So it's very rewarding for me as someone who has been trying to like do this. And it is like such a slow process. And I mean, obviously, I've had like personal issues going on these last few months, and it's really affected my confidence. And if I'm not feeling good about myself, then I don't like, I'm the kind of person where it's like, I want to be as authentic as possible. And so if I'm not feeling happy, good about myself, then like it's like a double-edged sword. Like sometimes I really just don't want to even act like I'm okay and I'm happy and do a full face of makeup and go and take a photo. But then other times I do it and it ends up making me feel better. So it really just varies. So like I haven't been putting as much into it these last few months, but I'd say back in like November through January was when I was really seeing a lot of growth, and I was getting like these really cool brand deals with like these makeup companies that were launching in like Sephora and all of these really awesome things. And like it just really meant a lot to me that these companies were just finding me through like the hashtags that I was using and just like the content that I was posting. And they were like, we think you're really awesome. We would love to send you this stuff. And it's funny because it's like they literally just found me, send me the shit for free. But then it's like I reach out to other brands and I'm like, hey, I would really like to try this. I would like to do this. And then it's like, no, you know,
Right.
So it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's a hit or a miss and it's a learning curve regardless. But it's like, you know, it's a really big deal. Like I always tell myself this, the day that I think I get to work with like Princess Polly, which like isn't even like that big of a deal, but like that to me would be so awesome because I've shopped there for so many years, and there have been influencers that I've come to know in Charlotte and just in general that have made that happen for themselves, and I just really want to make it happen for me.
You know,
and so
attainable for you, Hannah. Like
it is. I agree.
100%.
I think that Princess Polly, like if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I personally don't have a problem with Princess Polly. I think
they're
that
a really good example, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
They're a really good example of a company that finds really cool up and coming like influencers to
I'll say
products.
A lot of the people that I follow have at one point had like a Princess Polly edit, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like they do a good job of like trying to find people, because as like big as Princess Polly is, it still is kind of like smaller, you know, in comparison to like, let's say maybe like Fashion Nova, if you want to use another Pretty Little Thing. And I do feel like a lot of these smaller brands, like they're gonna help you if you help them, kind of thing. With these bigger brands, I feel like they're gonna probably have to backtrack and like realize nobody gives a shit about all of these like rich, famous, like already done, like have been doing this for years influencers. I feel like they're gonna want to backtrack and make it like smaller, more like from business to consumer kind of thing, kind of, I don't know, kind of like derail what's been going on.
Because it all comes down, that's a good point, because it all comes down to your demographic and your audience with anything that anybody does, like, you know, even with a podcast and whatever, it all comes down to like, you need to tailor stuff to your viewer or listener.
Agreed.
I got a DM the other day asking me if I wanted my own coupon code to promote for a ball shaver to my followers. And I was like,
one of those examples that's like one of those sketchy things where it's like just pass along.
I was like, actually, no, I thought it was sketchy, but then I clicked on the account and it had 400,000 followers, like had all of these reviews, was like really well known. But I was like, I do not have a male following. Like, I'm not going to like be like, use code Hannah20 and shave your pubes. Like, that's just like not like, no.
Yeah. I've had people like that like reach out to me too, but like obviously for my personal self, I'm not in that life, but I've had things reach out to me, and usually I'm just like, fuck off, like whatever. But with the podcast, like I'm like, oh, like I don't do this stuff, but like for my podcast and stuff, like we'd love to do stuff like that and whatever. And it always comes down to being like, okay, well first make like this purchase and then like we'll And I'm like, dude, no, like that's not but my point in saying that is what you just said. They had like 400,000 followers and all this stuff, but it's like, are those followers real?
Yeah.
That's what gets me. Is it just a bunch of people that they coerced into following them? Like, also, I don't know. Sometimes followers count doesn't like mean shit to me. You know
Agreed.
That's also where I draw the line. And one piece of advice for anyone that's listening, that's trying to get into the influencer world. a company is asking for you to purchase something,
Mm-mm.
it's a scam. It just
Yeah.
hands down is a scam. If they're saying that you need to purchase something at full price, they'll reimburse you later on, or you'll somehow earn commission. 9 times out
Immediately
of 10,
no.
it's a scam. If any company is commenting on your post asking for you to DM them, it's a scam. They're robots. They're just literally like annoying as fuck. I've now started to draw the line a little bit. I used to work with brands where they would say, oh, like, here's a coupon code for you to buy yourself something for 40% off. And
Mhm.
then we'll give
And then
you a
we'll give
code
you
to
a
promote
code.
to your followers. And if people buy that, then you can earn money back. There's one company that I occasionally will do that for. And the only reason why I do it and actually like put my own money towards buying their stuff is because she does give me a really good discount and because I actually really do like the clothes and I would wear them regardless of whether or not I were promoting them.
Yeah.
Now
What
I'm like
company is
trying to
that?
get more I'm trying to get more into the realm of like actually kind of knowing my worth. And I know that that sounds stupid because I don't have that many followers, but there is a lot of thought that goes into when a company asks you to not only take a photo, but now reels and TikToks and all of that are getting bigger. And it like that takes a lot of time.
You see
And
what I'm saying about the content though is because there's so many different ways and avenues of you posting it and like
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I think. I think that this in the future it really is going to be like dissembled in some way. Like I don't think that
It's
this is
just
just
there's
going to
I
keep
will
going on a
say-
much of
rise.
it.
Yeah. It's just
yeah,
too much.
like
and you're like, when does it end? Like, what's going on? Not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying there's just an overconsumption of it, in my opinion.
when's
well,
it
the
gonna
unfortunate
change?
truth is like Instagram is way too overly saturated. There are way
For
too
sure.
many Instagram girls out there like trying it, like actually I'll just say this and I'm even like kind of coming for myself here, but it's a lot easier to do your makeup, get in front of a camera, take a photo, and then you edit that photo the way that you want it to look exactly, and then put it on the internet for everyone to see. You're putting yourself out there a lot more when you're standing in front of a camera and actually recording yourself in a way that you can't edit it, you can't morph it, you can obviously filter a video, yes, but you're a lot
It's
more
you. Yeah.
vulnerable in the sense that like you can't really retouch a video the way that you can retouch a photo, and there's just a level of comfort there that I just think some people just do not have. But that is why TikTok and Reels are becoming so much more popular, is because it goes both ways. Like I've noticed when I post a photo and I'm on a really cool vacation or I'm doing something where I'm flexing this really cool part or cool aspect of my life, I get way more likes and it gets out there a lot more and it's way more popular. But at the same time, I notice that my photos do even better if it's like a candid photo of me with my friends and I just look like I'm having a good time. It's like
Right.
those photos do a lot better than the photos where I put on an outfit and go out in like a parking deck and like obviously take a million and some photos and then pick the best one.
Yeah.
I more so do that for myself because that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with TikTok. Like, I mean, I love like the style hauls and like the makeup tutorials, but honestly, like the funny and humorous aspect of TikTok where it's just people just being weird and just being funny and being themselves, like that's what's doing a lot better and
It
that's
kinda-
what people want to see.
It kind of takes away like the aspect of like you not being able to ever achieve this. Does that make sense? And it's just more real. It's
Yeah.
more everyday. It's just relatable stuff. I do want to go back to the point that you just brought up about how it's a little bit easier for you to like come off as authentic and just be more vulnerable like in front of a video camera versus if you're just taking a photo and editing it. Where are y'all's stances on like obviously we're all on the same page when it comes to like photoshopping and everything, but the
That's
photoshopping
another
with
thing
influencers,
that's changed
yeah,
is the way of editing, which I think will always evolve. But I think
Like,
also
oh my
the-
God, I
the,
used to
like,
smooth out
Facetuning
my
and-
face so much with
Oh my
Yeah.
Facetune.
God, I
And
did
it would
so-
be, and
we
it was, but it
all
was such a
did.
thing like back when we were freshmen, sophomores in
That's
college.
what I'm
Like,
saying, like this 2016, 2017 like craze of like Instagram flex culture influencer
Yeah.
wannabes, and it just got so chaotic and
Yeah.
weird that I feel like
And
the
now
world's
I
just like,
feel like
enough.
it's so out of hand that like if you get caught doing that, by the way,
Mhm.
RIP to you. I pray for you because you're done. Like
Yeah.
the whole I remember who was it? Someone like called out, "Oh, this one girl. Her name's I blow your mind on TikTok. She's
Yeah.
that beautiful girl, right? Love her. Like she has honestly so like she's hot. Like love her content. Um but she got called out for photoshopping her videos, you know? And at that point I'm like how like it's so sad to see that these people
Dude,
in these
that's like
positions are
dedication if you're photoshopping your video.
Did you
Like
because
that
there
takes
are
a
these
lot of work.
I thought that's
legitimately
why
people
she was so famous, though, is because her body really did look like
and
that.
so, you know what I thought? I was like, guys, like, I feel like you guys are just coming for her. Like, her body's beautiful. She looks great. I don't think she's photoshopping. Like, who would need to Photoshop that, right? But then there were more like receipt videos being like, no, look at like all the curvatures in the wall and everything. Like, she's editing
Wow,
these
yeah.
videos.
I'm looking at
And
her
to
Instagram right
me,
now.
yeah, and to me, that's where I kind of draw the line with like influencers and everything because I feel like if you're known for photoshopping and everything, I feel like the new wave is au natural and that's what it is right now. And I feel like honesty when it comes to like photoshopping and your influencer trips and your paid brand promotions, like all of this, it's just way better to be authentic. And the photoshopping thing really gets me. And I think in England, I think in the UK, they're trying to ban photoshopping or ban filters because it's gotten
Interesting.
so out of hand. It's gotten so out of hand to where people have like such crazy body dysmorphia and like genuinely cannot recognize like and it's such a big thing with like mental health. I and I understand why the UK would want to ban it. Like
I wonder
like
how they would have control over something like that, though.
they would literally just
You
remove it
know?
off of like the Instagram app. I guess like if Instagram like
But there are
in
so many
UK
other apps that you can use to
this is
filter,
true.
Photoshop, anything.
But do you
But then
see
I
how
think
out of
about
hand it's gotten that
I
there's
yeah,
so
it
many
has.
different apps and it's just not authentic anymore. And it's kind of hard for you to like see all of these influencers and Instagrammers like photoshopping all of their shit and you think that's real and it's just not. And like you said, it's just so oversaturated.
and I think about like but then I think about people like Tana Mojo who like still
She's a
facetunes the
different
fuck out of her
breed.
photos, but she's made it like
She's
her brand.
yeah,
Like
she
she's
she
owned
will
it.
say that yeah.
Yeah, she was like, I facetune the fuck out of my photos, but like I am who I am. And like I remember like that's why I loved her because it's like she like just is unapologetically herself, even though she still
Sure.
facetunes her photos and whatnot.
I
But
think she's a big fucking
we
dumbass, but
Yeah.
that's
I
another
mean, like,
conversation.
she is a dumbass, but I mean she gets
But like,
But,
I,
like,
I
you
know
know
what you
what?
mean.
she's
Like, you can
extremely
respect it.
entertaining. Like she's
Right, like-
extremely entertaining. Yeah. But another like person who's a really good example, who's like, I guess more so, I mean, I don't even know if I'd call her up and coming because she's blown up a lot within the last 4 months. And we talked about her in a couple episodes back, was Victoria Paris.
Yes.
And I know like Shayla talked about how she'd been following her from the beginning. And I recently came across her stuff just because she recently started popping up on my For You page. And I think she is hilarious. Like
Yes.
I love her. I think she's so funny. I also love that she is literally like, I hate to say just so authentically herself, but like she really is. And like she
she doesn't
actually
give
like
a fuck.
she does not give a fuck. And like she works out a lot. She has a great body, but like she's weird as all get out, but like I love it. Like the shit that she posts on her story, I'm like, this is bizarre, but like
You
it's
know,
funny.
This is why I think that her rise on TikTok specifically blew up. She went from having, I remember I started following her when she had like a couple, maybe like 100,000 followers on TikTok, right? She has grown and
just
she is almost
100,000.
well, and I think honestly, like I can't even remember. I just remember her being like one of those smaller TikTokers. I was like, oh my god, this bitch is so funny, right? Like she's from North Carolina, she lives in New York now. Like love her, right? And so now she's almost at 1 million followers. And I actually was stalking her page just to catch up on how many, like, you know, she posts like 30, 40 videos a day, right? And
I
like
heard
that
her
is
talking about that, and she's like, "I'm like really working for this," which I was like,
yeah,
respect.
which to me is honestly more respectable when she does it like that. And like it just seems like she really wants this and is like gonna make a
Yeah.
name out of it. And it honestly kind of reminds me a little bit of Emma Chamberlain, the style
Right.
of how she like vlogs and the style of like how she is.
Authentic.
It's just more
Realistic.
authentic. It just doesn't seem like if
But
you
then I
met
think-
them in person that you would be like, oh my God, like I'm so excited. It would honestly feel like, oh my God, like hi, how are you? Like a
Well, they're
friendly kind of
relatable, and
interaction.
they set an
Yes.
attainable standard as much as you
Yeah.
can, you know, with the fame and fortune that they
Mhm.
come with. But I think like I feel like the future of like this influencer culture or whatever is now shifting towards like, again, people are aware of this, and
Yeah.
it's more like authentic stuff and people being, again, this goes into like body positivity, like being yourself, like not shaming other people for who they love or what they look like or like anything like that. And I don't know, I feel like things have got to be like, I don't know, brands should really go towards those people who really are just like authentic and real and not trying to like
But then you think
fake
about
anything.
it.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
like-
it's just a money hungry kind of like
Right.
thing, you know?
I think about it too, and it's like I've done like a lot of research to try and figure out, okay, how can I grow this? How can like I actually like make money off of this? I mean, I would absolutely love, like, I think my dream would honestly be to like be a full-time influencer and eventually start my own brand, like have my
Mhm,
own
yeah.
clothing line, like do that. Like that would
As
be
long
a
as
dream
you bring
come true
this
for me.
podcast along with you, I'm all for it.
Yeah, like
As long as you plug us in
putting
every
that-
video, then I'm good with it.
I'm putting that out into the universe that I hope at some point, regardless of when it is, that happens for me. But it's weird because it's like I'm still just like at a level of uncomfort with it almost, because I was talking to like some other micro influencers who have like, there's this one girl in Charlotte who I have become like pretty good friends with, and she got like 2,000 followers in like a month. And I was
Wow.
just talking to her and I was like, you know, and she just got a deal with Princess Polly, and we both kind of started off on the same level, but she's grown substantially quicker than I have. And the biggest thing that I've learned is just consistency, which I have not stuck with. Like I just need to be more consistent, but it's just hard, I think, when you have other things going on to like do something as like quintessential almost as like social
Yeah.
media. It's like I just got bigger things to worry about, but I need to be treating it more like a job, I guess, if that's ultimately what I want for myself. But on the other end of it,
sorry.
I was like talking to her and being like, oh, like how have you been growing a lot? I've been seeing this a lot from like other micro influencers, but talking like on their stories and like taking them along more throughout their day. And like that to me honestly like annoys me as a consumer. So like I am like, God, I don't want to be like one of those girls that's like, hello everyone.
Y'all, you know what I
mean,
was about to say? I was
like-
about to say that I'm about to start doing that. Like you said that, and I was like, I kind of want to do that, like ironically, like on my Instagram,
Yeah.
just as a joke, like for shits
Yeah.
and gigs.
And that's what
And I think it's
like-
hilarious.
Yeah. Like I think there's, and again to what you said, Hannah, like I don't know, because I know like this is what you want to do, obviously, and this is very authentic to you. But I think in the areas that you might feel like some things are uncomfortable, I think that's where you need to be like, okay, well, I'm going to take my own path with this, which I feel like
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
But as far
So-
as like, you know, what to post and what to put on your stories, like again, as long as it's comfortable for you and it's something that you want to do every day, like for me, the way I view it is that like the best will come when you're doing it because it's fun and you're just like, come along with me, what I'm doing, like this is it, rather than it being a production or thinking like I have to do this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because we
So,
have
like,
enough of those people out there.
I
True.
really want to like more so do like more behind the scenes stuff, like showing people how I shoot content, like what I do.
Yeah, like come to work
because I
with
do,
me.
yeah, because I do like everything on my own, but I also like I've been really like going through it a lot recently with my mental health, and like May is a big month in terms of like mental health awareness, and like that would be a time where I would want to be like, okay, I'm going to sit down and like actually talk about this, because the number one thing that I get the most from people who meet me for the first time and then they see me on social media, they're like, literally like, you're not that I'm different, but they're just like, you're so much more down to earth and like,
It's the thing. People
like
are so
there's
quick to judge.
yeah, they're just like, they see my Instagram and they're like, oh, this is just like a pretty, like aesthetically pleasing Instagram page. And like, that is what it is because it's what I like, but I want to do a better job of like showing my personality more,
I was
I
about
guess.
to say,
And
like, wouldn't you want your social media to not only be of like an influence and be aesthetically pleasing, but like reflect who you really are?
yeah, and like that's what I want to that's what I need to get more comfortable with is like
Right.
I want to like be vlogging and filming my YouTube videos when I'm like having an emotional breakdown because maybe if that feels uncomfortable for me in the moment, it's what's relatable for someone who's watching it.
Yeah.
And that's like been the issue for me as I took like 2 months off from doing YouTube or not. Yeah, I took 2 months off because I was going through that breakup and it's like I just didn't know how to bring myself to sit down and talk in front of a camera because in my mind I was like I've got to be so put together and I've got to be able to compose myself and like compose my thoughts because I'm always the kind of person that like sort of knows what to say and can like say it well. But it's like I think if I just like Amanda, honestly, like I commend you for the way that you've been doing like your little vlogs here and there because it's like that's what I want to be doing. Like I want to just be filming anything and everything and just be capturing all of these weird random moments and putting it together because that's just how we all are together and that's just my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I think it's just you just got to do it because I mean, again,
Yeah.
I'm not doing the same thing you are. Like, I'm not, yeah, I'd fucking love to like have a huge following and be like, look at me, but I'm
Yeah.
not. And so for me, I don't feel any pressure of like, I have to put out this image or I have to be this way. And so I'm just like, these are for me and my friends, like, come along with me. And I feel like if you have that mindset, like with the following that you already have and like how you are, I just feel like you're gonna
It can
I don't
only
know.
grow from here.
It can,
you
yeah, it
know?
can only be
That's
good. And people will be
true.
like, oh, this is like, you know, she's something different. She's something refreshing. And that's the thing.
You know
I
what's
think
really
that's the biggest thing is that I'm so bored of every single thing I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Like influencers. I want something new and refreshing and
It's okay, you guys.
whatever.
My vlog's coming out tomorrow. So
Yeah.
that's new and refreshing. And you guys can
You know
tune
what's
in
really
there.
fucking funny though is that like the Atlanta vlog that I filmed where I like sat down and talked about the breakup and I felt like I was so vulnerable and honest about what I was going through. It got like literally about as many dislikes as it got likes. And I was like, literally, fuck all of you. Like the moments where I actually am just being myself, it's like, I feel like that's where I get the most criticism.
And this
Someone
all
else
comes back to, again, the platform you're on, the audience, and like user attention span. I'm not even kidding. Like as far as like editing and cutting, like it might seem like, oh, I don't want to cut it or I want it to be this way, but you also have to think like, what do people want to watch? And then once you get that
literally-
following, then you can forget about that, whatever you have your following.
Wait.
But at the beginning, you have to tailor it to like what you think people are gonna like.
This literally
You know?
sent me. So I sent this in our group chat, but first of all, someone like literally commented something bitchy on my Charleston vlog and literally was like, no one cares about your outfits. And I'm like, literally
Yeah.
go fuck yourself. Because honestly, like I care about what I'm wearing. Like
Yeah.
if you know me, you know I care about what I'm wearing. So obviously it's going to be in my YouTube videos. But the other comment that I recently got on a video that literally had me cackling, I meant to tell you guys about it. But my apartment tour video is like my most viewed video. It has like almost like 4K views or something, and it has like a ton of comments and likes on it. But someone 4 days ago commented, "Please get a plant." ...
What the fuck? Okay.
You're
You
that
like,
was, like,
just
weird.
moved in.
I was like, "Thanks. Please get a
Fuck your
plant." Like I
plants.
guess my apartment is just so lifeless, but yeah. So
Well,
you know you've
feel
really
like-
made it when you've got the haters. So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. First, the haters, then
The
stands.
motivators.
Oh, there you
haters
go.
are my motivators.
Gotcha. Oh gosh.
We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so I
ladies.
feel like we can wrap this up.
The only one thing I do want to say to like kind of
Say,
well, sorry.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
No, but I do
One last
this
thing.
this is a really good piece of advice and it's something that I'm still learning to deal with and I feel like this, you know, obviously like I want to hear what you guys have to say to wrap it up, but my kind of last thing I want to say is that I think the reason why it took me getting to almost graduating college to where I really started doing this was because people used to make fun of me and like shit on me a lot. Like people used to make fun of me in my sorority and in high school for wanting to like take a photo of my outfit just to post, and like, who do you think you are? Like really just not making me feel very good about myself. And I was honestly too embarrassed to even want to do it, let alone post it. But if I had just kind of had the mentality of, you know what, it makes me happy, I'm going to do what makes me happy, and like, are people are going to make fun about it? Yes. But at the end of the day, they're talking about me and they're still seeing it and spending their time and energy talking about it regardless of whether or not it's necessarily good. So you kind of just got to like find the willpower within yourself. And if you want it enough, like you'll make it happen. And I'm still dealing with that today, trying to just grow what I've already started. But I wish that I had just done it sooner and not listened to any of those people.
Yeah. I say
I
just do what you want. Fuck everyone who hates on you.
Such a Shayla comment. Like, I'm like, let me just give you like a whole paragraph response. And Shayla's like, just fuck them. Live your life.
Yeah. Hannah's like pouring her heart and soul out. And Shayla's like, fuck them. but it is true. Like, it's the age old thing. I feel like we give this piece of advice a lot, but it's like, if it makes you happy and you're not hurting anyone, then like, what's wrong with it? And like, there are always going to be assholes who like judge and like, you know, shit on you or think it's weird, and it's like, well, they're not your friends and they're actually not in your life, so what does it matter?
Exactly.
And that kind of thing comes with age. We're all still navigating that. I know I am, like, especially recently been going through that with like, I just want to post what I want to post or like do what I want to do, and like, you know, worrying about what some people who I'm not even friends with and don't even speak to me like think about. Like, it doesn't matter. So it's like
literally, here's the thing, end all be all, nobody cares that much. Like, honestly, if they did, yeah, literally, you're just like it. I feel like just people get so wrapped up into like the negative connotations of things, and like, obviously we're all human, like we do. But at the end of the day, like we all said, we've literally said it 3 different times. Do what you want. Like, no one cares at the end of the day. Exactly. Again, girl boss.
I hate fucking.
All right.
Live, laugh, love.
All right.
I said live, laugh, love.
Oh, I was like, what did you just say?
All right. Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Okay, see ya.
Thanks everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe. Go check out the YouTube channel if you're listening to audio. If you're watching the video, go download this podcast somewhere.
Hugs and kisses, everybody.
Toodles.
You guys have a great week.